Hi. So I am almost at Mill Valley today. I made a detour because sometimes when I do caregiving or any part, sure, take care of your own parents, va? Forget about pioneers beyond or scientists on the coastlines dead with the Hague. Take care of your own ass. Take care of your Nazi skin ass, your Jewish Zionist ass, whatever fucking ass you have in California. In other words, don't send me your fucking psychos so that we have to add 250 pages, 250 Dr. Parrots for your fucking retards, stalkers, as extras for paperwork for 221. That's the extras. Because we already have the Hague, we have the Bureau de Veritas, so we have this. So when you come to the US, think about it if you are any kind of breaker and space attack scientist. You'll see this. You'll see beautiful places covered with a lot of cash. You'll see a lot of Jews, a lot of whites. You'll see a politics not based only on racism, but a politics based on cash. And cash is, from what I remember, the root of all problems. So, and it remains that way. So when they said, after the Hague, you could cry for your few scientists, but if something big is lost, you deny it. This is what the US is. This is what made them call this place not a country. Because cash, unfortunately, is exactly what you run on, not intelligence. The space tax of greys and blacks and the corporations and some of the pinks that were in Poland and Egypt, the blacks in Russia and Saudi Arabia, and the greys on the borders of them. That happened in the past that you denied, and you brought back, I don't know, Disney, or you brought back, but you see, the Americans will not understand what the Hague is when it slaps their face, even if it happened on their own soil, because this is what they are. If you tell them that to their face, they get offended. Oh, I'm Jewish, how dare you speak? Oh, I'm this, I'm that. You're a fucking psycho in your own country. And that's what they have. And now we even have, oh, sorry, as we're at it. Hello? So this is what we call stalking in a way. But it's not the stalkers that they said, or the collective of bitches and assholes in colleges, because PhDs don't reopen the greys and blacks. They can reopen some of the dark mission and the financial banks, but they won't reopen the greys and blacks and pinks. So when they said, you're Disneyland, but you're not that girl after the smashed in head on the coastlines, they meant it. When they said you were the mermaid and you were the one who brought those guys with you away after the Hague, they meant it. When they said you were the leader of that movement of Space Tac, they meant it. When they said you broke Space Tac, they meant it with July the 20th, 2021. Instead, they stuck me with the beggars, they stuck me with the psychos, and they stuck me with the stalkers. And they cheered on the corner with the Jewish Zionists and the Nazis and the others while they were doing that. That's 215 pages of fucking Dr. Parrots. Extras. And so when somebody out of the blue comes out and says to you the same thing a million motherfucking times, you smashed the girl's head on the coastlines, you didn't notice all the flyings of that girl in your country and abroad. You didn't notice all the runnings of that girl in your country and abroad. Defending the parents of Fresno on retirements and doing a shit elsewhere on the coastlines or with the corporations. You sat there, you brought back a dead baby, you said these girls don't exist, even men don't exist like that. Actually, a few men on the planet do exist like that, and a few women do. There's less women, I'll give you that, in the space breaks and mathematics and physics and all that, but it's a different math, because that's we see when they say microchip is microchip. If they say cancer pink, biochem Poland, Egypt is one thing, but when they say Russian, Saudi Arabian corporations, UN corporations, German airspace with parts and the others, then it changes the entire subject. It simply means that what you lost on the coastlines is what you lost with Disneyland. Now, that they brought back pink is one thing, that they brought back blues is something else. That's genetics. So, the people abroad are shocked. The people in Europe are shocked. The people in Germany are shocked. The people in London are shocked. The people in Italy, where I was born, are shocked. Why? Because they knew about it. And there was a Scotland film on Radio Globo after The Hague. And because they're looking at your behaviors, knowing that you're psychos and your shitheads will sit there and say, I'm an American. You're not a patriot. Whenever you see somebody who reacts that way to the word patriot, who says, that shit's something, see it coming from China, why didn't you prevent it? It's as simple as that. That's old news on the news. And if there were others, why don't you prevent it? What are you attacking Disneyland for? There's thousands and millions and billions of agents out there who saw that shit on the ghost lines around the world, and they're using it against you, and you're sitting there, I'll kill you, Disneyland. Why did you say? Are you saying, why didn't I say alive? Or are you speaking about The Hague with the ship that left to the yacht? Because that's old news on the news. You're terrorists. You're fucking terrorists. And you're being a terrorist to Disneyland after The Hague. And you're doing it because you're mentally retarded in the US. And they're suing you for that. They're suing you in federal paperwork with all the Dr. Parrots for Schadenfreude Jr. That's old news on the news. That's not even mentioning The Hague. And so when you press yourself against Disneyland after I smashed in head a particular placement child, what am I supposed to, what pretenses can I have when I look at the US? With the void on the ghost lines with the corporates, and come back as a degenerate Disneyland while you're fucking denying it and hating me as Disney. What am I supposed to say to the US? You're the pretentious ones. You're the ones who didn't do shit to prevent it. And then you're going to be blaming me for that shit. I'm out of that shit. I'm completely out of that shit. Jesus Christ, can't you at least see what this is? And that's not even mentioning the parents of Fresno. Pioneer camps beyond the capital city, D1s, Austro, DCUR, USA, D1s. It's not only London, it's not only Rome or the UN, it's not only Warsaw International, it's not only Russia and Arabia. And then, after all that, after all those fucking flyings beyond the library, after all those fucking runnings on the hills, she has her head smashed in on a ghost lines, baby comes back like a little Disneyland, bloop bloop, bye-bye, time baby. Oh, look. They made genetics. How'd they do that? Abdelkin Van Dam. Abdelkin is still speaking to me about, I'm an engineer from the Netherlands. I now do The Hague and the Bureau de Veritas. I represent children, I'm looking at Abdelkin, shut up, fuck up. This old news on this. He's looking at that. You didn't want to know nothing, the engineer from the Netherlands. And those other guys. And that's not, okay. Of course I was alone. But give me the credit that I was the mermaid. But nowadays, there are females in those countries that do those things. So they have to do The Hague. And say, a big ass ship, the yacht left, and you put up a pin-up girl after that shit with these people to one. And then about Buzz Gerard with Disneyland. I'm just saying, because this is not what I'm betting. And what's the thing about the Germans? Speaking about 696969 all over the capital cities. Even the Germans. I'm not even fucking German. They're just passing the space. My daughter and my niece is coaching me. All our children are coaching me. Literally. You were phenomenal. You had your head smashed in here. My God. Dear Halfen. Dear Halfen doesn't even bother to do 696969 with the license plate. Those guys go 666. And you're telling me that's the old news on the news. Like, I wonder what they called me again, isn't it? US. And the Barons. No, wait. I'm dead. Listen, I already had The Hague happen to me. Listen, come back. No. And you speak to me about masks, and you speak to me about pink, and I say, that girl was a phenomenal. Well, finally, eventually figure out there's some blues, the egg. Well, I can tell you that that's not the original girl. Because after that shit on the ghost lines, there's a way, smashed in head and everything, that a replacement child, even if there's blues, is the original. And if there was a ship to yacht with that girl, well, cazzi tua se sei, idiota. I can't take it anymore. Senti, this is old news, honey. Another thing about it. Please, tell me, please. Let's say a roll for it down. What about that? Look, all right.